Okay, it is that time again. It is Hump Day Q&A, Wednesday doTERRA Live, Living with doTERRA, all of those things. Question and answer. I'm super duper excited. We have a great panel with us today. We don't have a tremendous amount of questions, but I have a feeling we won't have a problem filling the time with all of our nuggets and chattiness the way that we love to do. But let's first start by introducing who all we have today. We have our wonderful Miss Diana Webb from Wellness is Essential.
Hello. Hope you're having a great Wednesday.
Yes, indeed. I am having a great Wednesday. It has been a wonderful day. I hope everyone else has too. We're still trying to get the yard back from all that rain. Holy cow, right? So let me see here. We've got our lovely partner, Miss Tammy from Pure Plant Oils.
Hi, happy Hump Day.
So Tammy just texted me literally as we were coming in here. Did you buy an RV?
We did. We just got it this morning.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
You bought one of the one that's named after my son. Diane will know this. Grayson has always been called Gray Wolf his whole life since he was born. And it is even Grey. And your camper's a Gray Wolf.
I know. You started the bug, so
well, enjoy. It's so much fun. You're gonna have a blast with that. You really are. It's just super addicting now. As you can see, I'm still in mine.
Well, you'll be seeing me in mine fairly soon.
Oh, good. Joan, we have our wonderful Joan Sberro from Bosqueom Essentials. Hello,
everybody. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday to you. I love how your hair is matching your outfit today. You look very like, I don't know, it's all coming together.
Matchy.
Yeah, I know you worked hard on that, right?
Yeah.
And speaking of always matching, what do your nails look like today, Miss Leslie? Oh, there you go. Coral. Perfect.
Very nice.
So we have the wonderful.
I wanted to match Joan.
LeslieRadigan from Daisy Girl Essentials.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. And I'm Carrie with Raven's Nest Essentials. So we're gonna just dig in. I'm gonna throw the first question out there to you guys, and it is, what kinds of solutions do we have for supporting dry mouth? Right? I think, Miss Diana, were you able to find that? I know I have one bit of information here that was regarding
I have.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, did you say yes, Diana?
I do have what Romelia.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, I did. Yes.
Can you read that or share it?
So Romelia, yeah, I got it. Posted that clove has wonderful properties that are antibacterial and are good for supporting those risks that you can get with the dry mouth, which are, cavities and stuff like that. And so also she said that peppermint can help stimulate the production of saliva in the mouth. So she also gave like a little tongue spray or like blend to put on the tongue from the Advanced Oil Magic book. And that was 1 to 2 drops 2 times daily of peppermint, lime, Siberian fir, lemon, and ginger.
Wow.
Or like one or all of them if you want, blend them together and then put them on, or just do one of each of these. So I'll write this in Facebook when I'm done talking to you. But she also said that ginger drops are great too. They happen to have the cane syrup in them, the brown rice syrup, and in it. So be aware of that. But sometimes sucking on something or chewing gum, like like we have our Slim and Sassy gum, or any kind of good gum, can help as well. And I think Leslie has more for us.
I do. When we had to wear masks at the gym, your mouth would just get so dry and it was just like cottony nastiness. The peppermint beadlets are a huge help. And then the breathe drops as well. And one of the recommendations I'm going to make to doTERRA is to have them make some breathe gum. Could you imagine some breathe gum? Wouldn't that be awesome? Dear Dr. Hill.
Right.
Or AirX gum.
Oh,
Yeah,
ooh, there you go.
definitely.
That's amazing. I was looking into it a little bit and saw just a spray of either peppermint or spearmint diluted in some water and just kind of make a little spray for yourself that you carry around. But I'm really intrigued by the idea of Siberian fir in that. I had no idea.
There's your tree oil again.
Even breathe it. Wow. Okay. I'm down for that. I'm very fascinated by that. Has anyone ever tried to taste Siberian fir before? I've never tried it.
Yes.
I didn't know you could. I mean, I didn't know you couldn't. I've just never even looked. You have?
Yeah. Yeah, because it was in a capsule blend, and the way I do it, it always gets all over me. So so I tasted it.
I love it.
It's refreshing, but I'm a strange person. Those things don't bother me. I'm not phased, by those
Right.
things. I've been taking bitter things for my whole life, or herbs or whatever. And so
Yeah.
I never noticed that. It's a lot of other people would be like, whoa.
That's a good point. Just as a side note, if you're someone who's been doing, say, like tinctures and things of that nature, kind of through the years, the oils, it's like just
No problem.
you just slide right into that next level, right? But people who've never done that, it definitely kind of like, woo, even just something as like copaiba to me almost has no flavor.
It's buttery.
Yeah,
I think it's buttery. So I just did the Siberian fir, and for us in New Mexico, you know how when you go and you pick pinon,
Yeah.
and sometimes you get that pinon, that's what it tastes like to me, is like that pinon sap.
Oh, there you go. Very cool. I'm totally trying that. I love that. So the idea though is stimulating, right, circulation and stimulating the saliva glands to help to keep things rolling forward and moist so that you don't get dry mouth. And I really like those tips, Leslie, for at the gym, because a lot of people are going to the gym and having to wear masks, and it's it's a whole different animal. So the peppermint beadlets. Yeah.
And a breathe drop.
Yeah. Just don't choke. Don't
Yeah.
be like, well, it's a hard candy. I'm a mother. Okay. Hard candies. I always think, okay, but be careful. Don't be jumping around. Anyway. Okay. So, moving on, the next question is regarding coconut and our fractionated coconut oil. And the question is if you're allergic to coconut, can you still use fractionated coconut oil in your blends, on topically in your skin, so on and so forth, right?
Okay, I researched that. So first you have to understand that when people are allergic to coconut things or to anything, it's because there's a protein in it. So peanuts, coconuts, they have the protein in it. So what happens is if it's a virgin coconut oil that they haven't processed, and it's just the oil, then yes, you can. But fractionated coconut oil goes through a very extensive heating process to break that long chain fatty acid into two medium chain triglycerides. So it's a lengthy process. They have to heat it above melting point and remove the uric acid and do all sorts of stuff. So it is very less likely, and proteins are destroyed with heat. Okay, so let me just say that. So when you heat something up really high, it's going to destroy those proteins. So technically, according to all the research I can find, you should not have a reaction to fractionated coconut oil. But what I want to do is say, skin test, right? On your hand, wherever, put one little bit, test yourself. because you don't want to like do a big old roller ball and roll it all over and then go, oh, you know. So, and if you have allergies and you're very sensitive, there may be other things that you're sensitive to. So just do a little topical dermal test, and that should tell you. And if it does make you have a reaction, then don't purchase any of the touch line. You'll have to get the straight essential oils, because all of the touch line has fractionated coconut oil in it.
Yeah.
We want you to be safe.
Yeah. The nice thing about the touch line is, for the most part, as I'm running through them in my mind, all of them are also oils that you can get straight and use a completely different carrier oil for. So you're just kind of taking a different path. The convenience is removed, perhaps, but you still have the same options for using the other oils and such.
Right. And you can make your own roller balls. So let's say you want to have a lavender roller ball and you don't want to apply it, you want to dilute it, you know, and you do have a reaction to the fractionated coconut oil. Find an oil that you don't have a reaction to. So maybe it's a shea or a jojoba, or probably not an almond or a tree nut, you know, because coconuts and peanuts, you know, all are like that. But find an oil you don't have and then use that one. I would just say olive oil, you're just going to get that little bit of the scent of the olive oil. So if you don't mind smelling a little Italian, I guess it's fine. But, or
make smaller roller balls, because some things like jojoba or olive won't have the shelf life of the coconut oil. There are carrier oils that do have the shelf life of that. So do a little research. You have a lot of options.
Right. You can even go with vitamin E oil too.
Ooh, boy.
You know, it's kind of expensive, but yeah, you could get the little don't they have like 1 milliliter or 2 ml roller balls? So you could do a couple drops of essential oil and a little bit of vitamin E oil, and that would make a nice roller ball too. So you got lots of options.
I want to make some of those little vitamin E roller balls. I've never even thought of doing that, but imagine
for the eyes.
Or around your eyes. I mean, think of or even
Immortelle, you could do Immortelle with vitamin E, or yarrow. Well, if it depends, if you're allergic to palm, you can't do the yarrow palm, but you know, the Immortelle, you can make that last a long time by putting it in the little 2 mLs with the vitamin E.
I love that idea. So reach out to your wellness advocate for what other options we can suggest, because I think most of us do know of if you know, a general concept of shelf life of some of the carrier oils, and can help you like pick one that's gonna, you know, hold up for you a little bit longer, especially if you're just throwing it in your bag and running out the door and letting it kind of move through different temperatures and such. So very cool. Thank you so much. Does anyone have anything to add on that? Have you had that happen, or had worked with anyone?
I just said that, yes, I had that question that people didn't want me to make a roller with the coconut oil, because they were worried that they would be allergic to it. So I used jojoba instead. But yeah, I was just wondering about that as well.
I think that a key thing, like if I just heard like coconut oil too, I would think of like the raw coconut oil that I get at like, you know, the health food store or Costco or whatever. That fractionated, I guess, is the player that makes the change. And that is the sort of key reason why we're not dealing with those same proteins. But like Tammy said, always test. And honestly, yeah, if you're making somebody a roller ball, avoid it, because you don't want to make them a whole roller ball and have them be allergic to it. That would suck.
Yeah.
Not good. All right, so our next one here, I'm gonna throw one in for you guys. That's I make a little list, like, you know, we have everybody kind of compile a list of the questions, and sometimes we just throw a wild card in. And this is my question. My 13-year-old son, he's just, you know, he's growing like crazy. I wouldn't call him a picky eater. He'll eat a lot of things, but there are certainly some things that he doesn't like. He refuses to eat fish. That's been something that is a political statement or whatever for him. It has been that way since he was 4. So that's a no-go for protein. He really doesn't enjoy red meat. He can't eat it like just in his mouth, like a whole mouthful of it. He just thinks it's horrible. But we're having a hard time with his growth spurts getting enough nutrients in him. And I can tell because of the fact, mood swings, all of the typical signs of someone who's not getting enough of the appropriate nutrients. We're starting him on the LLV. He's over 110 pounds. So we're doing a full dose. But I also was thinking of adding into that, at the least, the greens and the protein from the nutrition line. All right. So is there anything I need to be thinking about or looking at with respect to, obviously I'm not going to overdose him if we do both, but, and just kind of keeping him, is there any issue? Like, am I doubling up? Like, am I wasting my good stuff if I'm just overly giving him all of this? I'm just not sure how to proceed on, I know for myself what I need, but I'm also bigger and older. So anybody have any advice on that? Or have you come across any information on, the nutrition of the supplements versus what we're getting in our nutrition line?
I think, to me, they're formulated to really go together and work together. So it's not going to be really an issue of overlapping or too much or anything like that. I think certainly for him and the growing, getting as much into him as you can that he is willing to take in is really going to be key. And then I would say too, look at sort of timing and spreading things out, just because in general, that's a good idea. And so maybe looking at like when he's getting protein throughout the day, and sort of, because I have to do that for myself too. And certainly on days when I'm more active, and I'll make sure that I'm getting some extra in there, but look at maybe starting him out at the beginning of the day with a protein shake. And then, throughout the day, sort of, I think probably, every few hours or something. He probably eats like that anyway. If he's growing, he's probably eating sort of constantly, right? I would guess. So I would do that and look at that and make sure it's sort of throughout the day that he's getting it. And then for all of us to remember, if we are using the fiber, which is fantastic, to separate that by a couple of hours from your XEO omegas.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that, to me, that you have to really think about in terms of real timing of when you take things. But for him, I would say, yeah, if he can take the LLV and you can do some protein shakes with him. And he do, can he do nut butters?
Oh yeah.
So you could throw that into the protein shake, right?
Chia seeds.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah, I can definitely do that. I'd be lucky to get one shake in him a day. And I'm getting the chocolate because I'm pretty sure that's going to be the one that he'll like. I'm not a chocolate person, so I didn't have it for myself yet. So I thought that'll be perfect for him. I know, look at Leslie's face.
It's good.
You don't like chocolate.
Yeah, and you can add some like Greek yogurt to it, and maybe a nut butter and chia seeds.
Yeah.
All those have extra protein. Bananas.
Yeah, and is there any advice? Is it sort of pick and choose, or is it better to do all three? Meaning the greens, the protein, and the fiber. Like, are they somehow supposed to be, kind of like how we do all three of our LLV? Or is it kind of like, hey, I need more greens, I'm picking this one. I need more protein, I'm picking this one. Is it, do you get where I'm going?
Mm-hmm.
I think in general, pretty much nobody on any Western diet, certainly on any Western US diet, gets enough fiber.
Yeah.
So I think that's one, that I'm doing every day. And I do all three. I don't always do the protein every day, but I do the greens and the fiber every
day. Okay. Are you guys getting Joan cutting in and out on your audio?
Yes.
Happening there, but
I do all three as well.
Hear you.
I do all three in like a midday kind of mid-morning
do you one shake,
smoothie. So I do just like one big one, and of course I can't you know, do it for all of our family because we can't all have the same protein. I have one person who can only have the vegan. So and no dairy, no gluten. So yeah, the rest of us will just go ahead and make in the Vitamix a big smoothie with some veggies and some, you know, banana, all that kind of stuff in there. And we do the protein and the fiber and the greens, and everybody just gets to have that as kind of like a good supplement to our day, because a lot of times we're just running around and everybody's doing something different. Even if we're all here, we're doing something different, going to work, going to, you know, doing school work, or working here at home. And so we have to, like, you know, like get in that nutrition, I feel like, while we're, you know, while we have a minute, you know, and it's so convenient and everybody loves it. I haven't had one complaint about it. They look forward to it. They're excited about it. And yeah, spinach is really good. And I love spinach in a smoothie. It's delicious. But yeah, I mean, you could do avocados or bananas, and you could do spinach, and, you know, you can even do some carrots or some beets or whatever you think would be good in there if you wanted to. But it just blends up perfectly. I have never had an issue, and it's filling. It lasts. It makes you like full, and but not weighing you down, kind of full, just like you feel like you have the energy to keep going in your day. So I like it. We love it over here at our house.
I got to tell you, I finally got to start the fiber because I have the fiber. And then I do now have one of the vegan protein. Obviously, I don't have the greens, but I am so excited. I love the fiber. I mean, it does have a little sweetness, which I don't think it needs. However, it's not sweet. I'm very sensitive to sweet. It's not so sweet that I'm like, ugh. I just put it in water, stir it, and drink it. And I'm just so excited because, unlike other things that are good for you to try, like if you hear about, you know, you think Metamucil, or you think these things that you know what I'm talking about, it actually is good. I don't mind drinking it. I'm loving the results, if you will. You know, I feel like it's really good for my health, especially I have a lot of digestive issues, so I'm really excited about that. But I don't know, it's exciting. You know what Grayson said? He said it tastes like super duper duper watered down, a little bit of like Tang. Remember Tang?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Wow, that is super specific, but yes, it does taste like just the slightest hint of a little tang going on in there. I thought it tasted banana like the first time I drank it. So, but that's also because I only put it in like a little bit of water. I hadn't read the 10-ounce part. It was a little bit, you know, strong, but it was very good. So I'm excited to try everything. And so we're behind the ball, right? We're just getting started on the nutrition line journey, but I bet I'm not the only one because it's only been out since January. And you know, so I figured I'll ask all my questions. Okay. Thank you so much for your help on that. So I'm just going to start him, and I like the midday idea, and I'm pretty sure I'll only get one shake in him. So, or one, you know, smoothie, whatever you want to call it. All right. So our next question, let me go over here and take a look, is, how are you using AirX? And then I really like the follow-up is, does it help with overexposure to airborne artificial fragrance? Which is very specific. So thoughts and ideas of what are the different ways? I've heard you guys using AirX. I mean, every single possible way anything could be used. You're drinking it, you're putting it on you, you're diffusing it, right? I'm new to it, so I'm super excited. I feel like such a little newbie person, but I was isolated for a little while.
I drink it, and I drink it with Slim and Sassy or with lime. And I diffuse it for sure. I haven't used it topically, but I diffuse it for sure.
Nice. What about the, I would imagine, yes, that it would be really good for the any airborne toxins, because that's really what it was. You know, this was all about killing off airborne toxins.
Right. and clearing the air and smoke and things like that. So helping to remove stuff. I would think it would definitely help with that.
That's a great example, smoke, because you can kind of think of perfumes and artificial smells or scents in a similar way to how smoke can linger in the air. And the AirX actually does clear and clean that out. So I would imagine you would get a very similar result. I mean, I haven't tried it that way because we don't use artificial scents and stuff. And I don't think anyone here on the panel does. But I tell you one thing, the longer you use your oils and the longer you don't go near those other things, you walk anywhere and someone is wearing an artificial scent, an artificial perfume, or worse yet, you walk like, was it you, Diana, into like a doctor's or dentist or where
Yes.
what was
my dentist? They had those wax melt horrible things.
I get a headache instantly. I'd have to have the gas just to get through the
I did.
wax melts.
I did. And
my kids
and Febreze, any of that stuff, that Febreze, the air, the smell cleaning spray stuff. My eyes water. I get all stuffed up. My throat gets sore.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's a great mask spray.
It's a great, I'm sorry, what was that, Leslie?
Mask spray. You spray it on the inside of your mask and put it on.
To keep
very
it
refreshing
and clean and kind of, you know, freshen it up a little bit. They can get a little, you know. What was that, Tammy?
Well, when you put it in your mask, if you have bad breath, you won't smell your own bad breath. But that's what beadlets are for too, I guess.
Yeah. Well, we can go back to the first question on the bad breath, right? Because all of those solutions also work for halitosis, as it were. So, so make a peppermint spray or get those beadlets going, right? That's so funny. Yeah, I absolutely think it would work for that. So if someone is really sensitive, or they're living maybe in a household with someone who insists upon using those other things in the home, maybe have it in your bedroom, get AirX going in a diffuser so you have a space to go to sort of like detox out, open those windows, you just need to be constantly working, and maybe get like an air purifier situation going. Do anything, a HEPA filter, I don't know, whatever they have these days, but all of the above to help filter that out. Because if you're sensitive to it, I am, and I know it sucks. It just sucks to be around that stuff when it closes up your throat and makes you sick, makes your eyes burn, you know, everything. I see Captain America in the background at Tammy's house. Frog, yes. All right, so anything to add on that?
You know, I just thought about this as you were saying that, is that it would be a really great one to do with Leslie's trick of put a couple drops on a cotton ball and vacuum it up, and then vacuum your house.
That would be nice.
AirX would be a great one to do with that.
Yeah, carpets hold so much toxicity, and all those things kind of settle down on those surfaces like your carpet. So being able to do that, that's a great idea.
And you could also, like, I get baking soda and just put a couple drops and shake it up and then sprinkle it and vacuum, and that works too.
Yeah, now we're getting the pride. Have a gay day. You too.
It is Pride Month. Woo-hoo.
Yay, Pride Month. Yeah, I love that idea because thank goodness. So just do your best to avoid that situation. But we all end up like, you have to go to the dentist or something. What are you going to do, right? Mm-hmm. And the thing is people get used to it, and they just keep upping the amount that they use. You know what I'm saying? So they will, initially it's like one little candle. I know, because we've all been there, right? One little candle, one this. Next thing you know, the whole house is filled. Somebody walks in and get bowled over. Not boiled. That would be gross. Anyway, okay.
That would be medieval.
Situation, right? Oh my gosh, that's a real reaction right there. Okay, so our next question is about our doggy friends. And I bet you we have a few suggestions on this because we have a lot of animal lovers here. We should address cats too while we're at it, just because I can see the follow-up question definitely being cats. And that is how to apply safely essential oils to your dogs. Joan, you've got BG over there. How are you using oils with BG?
So I use with BG, she takes some things internally, just a drop in her water or in her food. So that's an easy internal, and things like Copaiba she enjoys. And also she takes the children's IQ megas for her joints and mobility issues. But for on her fur, for applying topically, my favorite way is to have it in my hands and rub it, and maybe depending on what it is, dilute with a tiny drop of fractionated coconut oil as well, and then rub it in. And then I'll let her sort of smell it off of my hands and then pet and down the spine and kind of rub it in that way. On her belly. I keep it away from her paws, her eyes, right around her nose, anything like that. But otherwise, it's just really easy to do that. I have a little spray that I use like on her bedding. I don't spray it on her just because I think it's more soothing for them and less sort of disturbing to have it where you're actually petting them. And I think that you could do the same with cats as well. Wild Bill just doesn't really get anything. So I haven't put any oils on him.
Yeah.
But I would probably do the same thing of just very, very gently with petting and stroking and rubbing it in.
Yeah, that's what I do. Sometimes I like how you pointed out too, you put on your hands and kind of waft them off a bit, because the initial flash, if you will, of the, the oil turning into a gas for dogs, it can be a little bit much. But if you kind of waft it off a little and then let them kind of get a little sniff, sometimes they'll be like, but then just maybe you need to do a little bit more wafting, right? And then you can get them to let you just pet down. It is nice to give them an option though. I like that idea of, if they're sick and you need to be getting in there, sometimes that's a different situation. If they have, like, you don't typically want to use oils on their paws. Dogs like to have their paws be just doggy scented paws. But our Luna she has allergies. And she would get to where she would be doing the itchy bitey, on her paws, because that's where her allergies would come out. And so Copaiba, rubbing diluted Copaiba, and it was directly on her paws, but for her it was great, and a little lavender. It was very soothing and it stopped the itch. So sometimes you have to kind of, but never the ears, or down in the ears meaning, and never the eyes or on the snout, that would make them grumpy. And I think so too. Diana, you have cats. You have a cat now, right? You diffuse a lot, but have you guys ever used them topically on the kitty?
We did when they had injuries, like my cat would self-injure because she would just like keep scratching until she ripped a hole in her ear or something. It was just like a bad habit that she would have. She'd just keep going on that. It wasn't really due to any cause, just kind of like nervousness or something. And so we would cone her, and then we would also just apply like a super diluted little roller ball, where it was just like not even a full drop of each oil. They need it very, very diluted, and then I would rub it on my fingers and then just gently apply it to the area that she had scratched, and usually it would just heal right up very quickly, as long as we kept her from continuing to scratch it with the cone. But she liked the diffused oils, and when she was really feeling not very well, we also would super dilute a little bit of Copaiba and apply it to, she had a tumor area, a lump area that was bothering her, some Copaiba and some frankincense, and we would just very, very, very diluted, like like we had a little bottle that was super diluted, a 15 ml bottle with like, a drop each of the oil or whatever. And then we would just apply that. And that seemed to really soothe her and help her. But mostly she got it through the diffuser. Yeah. So she really liked the oils, and she would understand when I would be applying them to her that they were helpful to her. And our other cat he's much more like skittish, and he doesn't like that. So he really lets you know if he doesn't like something, but he doesn't mind the diffuser either. Like he won't leave the room, if there's a diffuser on. But he doesn't like you to like come near him with hands that have oils on them.
Right. They're all different, right? Which is important to note too. They're all different. Like BG does not like lavender. Joan's dog, most dogs love lavender. BG is not a fan. However, Beautiful, she thinks is the cat's meow or the dog's bark. Right?
Beautiful is that's her jam. Yeah.
My bear doesn't like Serenity, but he loves vetiver.
Oh, there you go. Now, Tammy, you've been working with animals for a very long time, a career of working with animals, and certainly you have, cats and dogs. But do you have any other tips or thoughts on applications or ways?
Yeah, so with my little kitty, because he's 20 years old, so he's kind of getting a little arthritic in his hindquarters. What I do is I take the Deep Blue Touch, and then I dilute it a little bit more with some copaiba, and I'll roll it right at the base of his tail, right between like his little hips there. He can't really get turned around to lick it, so I don't have to worry about that. But it seems to really help him a lot by doing that. What else tip? Just if you are gonna, if you want to get it on dogs, one of the things that you can do is, I know you mentioned they don't like it on their pads, but if you put it on your finger and then you get way up in there, especially if they have like a cut or something, that helps. We've used CorrectX on little scrapes. So, and if they lick it off, it's okay because it won't hurt them. And then, I guess one of the other things for their arthritis is I love the IQ Mega in their food.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you're doing that with her.
And then horses love Peppermint. We helped a horse get over some parasites with digestin in their food, putting it in their wet food. So there's lots of options, and you don't have to really dilute with horses because they're big guys. So
yeah, they're huge, except for just their taste, their finickiness.
Well,
right?
And then we also, when we had the chickens and the goats, putting the oregano in the water, and I think you're gonna maybe talk about that. We could segue into it, but heck,
yeah, we digestin was one of the first ones we ever got for deworming and for parasite control in our goats. It does also work for dogs. It works for all animals, and it does have a strong taste, but you can dilute it a lot and then just give it kind of regularly, like once a week, a diluted version, and it can be really supportive of helping to keep them clear of that type of thing. If they have an outbreak situation, you're going to have to kind of go harder with something else initially, but as far as maintenance, it does work really, really well. So there are a lot that you can use internally. I mean, and it's up to them, right? I would never hold an animal down and start pouring oil down their throat.
No.
Anything like that. So we're really saying like a drop in a big thing of water, and they have the option. It's also a good idea to make sure they have another water that doesn't have it in it, maybe a little harder to find in the house, because they're obviously going to opt for that initially until they taste the other one. And that way you certainly don't want them forced if they don't like, because they're thirsty is my point. You don't want them to thirsty.
And if you're gonna, like, I'll put a drop of lemon in the water because the dogs don't mind it. I'll put it in and put the water in, and it diffuses. It helps that scum not get there. But make sure if you're using a citrus oil, you're using a metal pan, right, or ceramic. You don't want a plastic water dish like I don't put it in our big one, that we fill up that big thing. That's their alternative water, I guess.
And that's a great tip too, is to put the oil in first in the bowl and then add the water, so you don't end up with just a drop floating, one little drop, and then whoever happens to get that on their tongue is like, woohoo, you know. They don't get to like shake up their water bowl, right? So you know, it just kind of helps. But yeah, there's a lot of ways that you can use them and love them with your animals for sure. The next question is actually, so yes, it does transition a little bit, was someone who was asking for our nesting box spray, which it is that lovely spring, which is chicken eggs are going crazy, right? However, so are the pests and the things that like to invade our lovely little nesting boxes. So we make a little spray that whenever we kind of clear out the nesting boxes, we used to kind of do it like once a week, like when the kids would gather the eggs, we just had this spray in our barn and let, you know, they would just kind of give like a little spritz. I wish I could say we were still that good at it. We're not that disciplined anymore. But it is a really great thing to do to help keep all of that pests away. It also will keep mice out. If you know, if you've been in one place for a long time with barnyard animals, mice are a problem. And we have definitely been a victim of that because they just, you know, the feed spilling and stuff attracts them. But you certainly don't want them up in the nesting boxes with your eggs and your animals, because they will get sick. Your animals will get sick. So this recipe is in a 16-ounce glass spray bottle for the same reason that Miss Tammy just mentioned. You want to use glass. So this is not for spraying directly on an animal. This again is for spraying in the coop or in the nesting box after, you know, preferably after the girls have already laid their eggs for the day, so it has time to waft off, you know, kind of dissipate a little bit. So you're going to do 10 drops of melaleuca, 10 drops of lavender, and then we do 5 drops of cedarwood and 10 drops of lemongrass. I guess I could have explained that the other direction anyhow. And then we top it off with half and half, filling it completely with water and white vinegar. Okay, so if you have a pest issue that you're working on, this will also help with things like scaly mites and things like that to help keep, because the girls will sit in there on it and everything. But if you have an issue going on, you're going to want to do this like 3 times a week, you know. But if you're just doing maintenance, like once a week, once every other week, what we also use this for is when we do clean out the old bedding. We have wooden because we just built them ourselves. We really spray it down hardcore where it's actually wet, you know, let it evaporate off before putting in the new bedding. And then we'll just do like one quick spray to the new bedding in case there's anything, because, you know, sometimes you're getting that we get ours at like, you know, the local feed store and you don't know what's going on in there, but it's really easy. We keep it just in the barn, you know, we're not worried about it. Nobody's eating it or drinking it. Just hangs on the thing. Easy peasy. So a great thing to do to support them feeling good and happy in their little nests. If you have stressed girls, you might want to do just a lavender spray, you know, just some lavender and water, maybe a little copaiba in there, you know, just give them a little spray, not them, but the nest, a little spray to help them to kind of chill. Also, I will say, if you have a broody hen and you have no reason for her to be broody, peppermint, spray some peppermint in the nesting box or on the eggs. Because if you, you know, if they're anything like ours, you're gonna have a hard time. You have to like get up under there to get the eggs away from her. You know what I mean? Because she's just in there sitting on them and won't give them up. We had a broody duck recently. Unlike chickens, they will bite you if you try to get their eggs. Okay. And it was awful. And we were gone, you know, we got back and here she was, and she had this full clutch of eggs. We could not get her to give them up. So when she finally did move a bit, you know, spray them down with some peppermint. You're tossing those eggs anyway. They're old and nasty. And she'll be like, ew, I don't like these. You can also put an ice cube. If you put an ice cube or a cold wooden egg or something in there, she'll think that the eggs are dead because it's cold. And she'll stop being broody on them. So I went off on a tangent there, but I like chickens. They're fun. It's fun to, you know, I don't know. Anyway. So does anyone else have any other questions that have come up this week on topics or anything left over from yesterday? Gosh, how exciting was that yesterday with all the June specials, right?
I did look something up today because I was wondering about this, and quite honestly, I can't remember if we did touch on it yesterday or not. But with the PV specials, the Breathe Touch, and then that Breathe collection for the
Yeah.
1 PV or the 200 PV, that is one time only. So unlike some others that we've had, right? That's what I read today, is that you can only do that once.
That's
I
really
think that's
interesting.
once per account. So
That is interesting because I was thinking about that today when I was posting, and I almost posted because I'm so used to it being that you could do it. Well, it was 4 times.
yeah,
4 times. 4 separate orders, not a $400 order got you twice, but 4 completely separate orders could get you up to 4 of them. So really, it's only one.
that's what I read today. And
Well,
then I also realized that I did misspeak yesterday when we were talking briefly about some of the changes in pricing that were coming out. It's not the Immortelle itself that's changing, it's the Virage Immortelle serum. That's what's changing.
that's gone down.
That's going down, right? My eye saw Immortelle and I use it every day. I was all excited, right? But yeah, so it's the Immortelle serum, which still awesome. It's fantastic that that's coming down a bit because it's an amazing product too.
That's my favorite item in the Virage line. In fact, it's the only one I order. I order the other essentials line. The white ones. And what is it? Essential Basics? What is it called?
Essential skincare.
Thank you. But I love that Virage serum, which is basically an Immortelle serum. It is caught your face right in there. So good, so good. So how much did it decrease? Do you know that off the top of your head?
No, it was a decent amount down, I think.
Like not 50 cents.
I have that.
No, it was a fair amount. I should be able to find it, but Tammy's looking at it.
I have that. So we're looking at the Virage Immortelle serum.
Yeah.
We're talking wholesale pricing, okay? 65 it's now 58. So it's gone down, yes, $7. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not insignificant, right?
Hey, it's a wild world. I don't know that I've ever seen something drop in price. Something I love and value, right? Does anything ever drop in price? For a sale, but not like as the set price. Yeah, so really cool. And again, if you guys have questions about that with any of the changes, just reach out. We'll send you information. There's a list that we can post as well that'll just kind of give you an update, but you can see it all on the website too. It'll be there for you to note. The only thing that you're going to really notice, because is if you had something in your LRP and now there's a change to your overall monthly charge. And so that, take a moment, check your LRP, see if there's anything in there that was affected. And if you want to make a change, now's the time to do it. It's the 2nd of the month. Unless you're like some of us who had to run out and get their midnight forest, then you're going to be good to go. You can make the changes now and not feel surprised by it, right? So we don't want that to happen to anyone. Any other thoughts or ideas for this week?
Just wanted to say that if you wanted your citrus bloom, get it because it's almost gone.
Mm-hmm.
You're set. And yeah, that's such a good value. And then you get the citrus bloom touch for free. Yeah. And just get that midnight forest and the pilot, and that just will set you all up for camping and just like your new RV and
Tammy,
just having a good old time.
You did mention yesterday that you were packing for camping. So where's your first trip going to be? Have you named her yet?
We have not named her yet because we just got her today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we gotta break her in first. Well, we're gonna be glamping the next 2 days, but I think Friday we're gonna head up to Heron Lake up in Tia Maria for just a little couple nights just to break her in for the road.
Learning road, yeah.
Yeah. So
that's
where we could get a campsite, where we could pull in and everything.
Yeah, you're gonna want a campsite unless you've got solar and giant water tanks and I mean, unless you're just doing a couple days. But anyhow, yeah. Or you could do like I'm doing and just be in your RV in your driveway. Because
Right.
you know.
That's what I'm gonna do as soon as we get off the meeting here. I'm gonna go out there and have a beer.
The easiest, yeah, that's glamping, you know. I mean, so I know. I said this is going to be my new what were those sheds? This is my she shed now.
The
The
she
she
shed.
shed.
This is my new she shed. I'm
Oh,
just
she should. Oh, I know. Frog's already saying, I'm living out here now. And I'm like, no, you're not.
well,
No.
yeah, I mean, yeah, Grayson, we pulled in and he was like, oh, you brought my house home. I was like, oh no. Fine.
Y'all can just stay inside.
Cry me out. No, we're just doing a bunch of stuff in the house while taking advantage of it. So my office is crazy. And when we moved into the rig here, like my desk that I have is behind me. I have not had time to take that in and get set up to be able to do my lives and stuff. So it does work easier for me to be in here, but I have been in there all day. I did sleep out here though, because I like it. I love it. It feels good. Anyway, well, thank you guys so much. And if you have questions, reach out. If you have questions for us for next week, reach out. If you are interested in reaching out to any of us, Leslie was on earlier. I'll put her information in, as well as Miss Joan, Miss Tammy, Miss Diana, and my own in any notes that we do when we post this. But for people on Facebook, you already know how to reach us. So reach out with anything that you have going on, or if you don't have yourself an account or a person you're working with, we are happy to help you with that. And you do not have to live in the United States. You do not have to you know, be in New Mexico or in an RV even. You can be anywhere. And we will happily still help you. Pretty soon we're going to have everybody out in RVs. It's going to be, oh, we could do like a big event. Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
now I'm getting excited. All right, guys. Thank you so much and have a wonderful rest of your week. We'll see you next week, Monday, non-toxic living. We're back on Mondays. Memorial Day's over. And we have a wonderful Miss Joan will be taking over for this month, for this round of the CE for non-toxic.
A guest host.
I guess.
Yes. Guest host for that.
Yeah, so that's always fun because if you've already done it with either myself or Miss Trixie, come back because we all kind of handle and get passionate about different things. So you are certainly going to learn something new with a new instructor doing it. So take the time to pop in and visit us on Monday at 4:30. All right.
What's Tuesday's class? Wait, what's Tuesday?
First aid. Miss Susan is going to do a class. See, this was for the camping trip. Breaking down first aid for different scenarios from the nurse, right? So she's going to give us a full breakdown on everything that we need for different, you know, issues. She's got the big first aid kit, the essential oil one. And I'm super excited for her to do that. It's going to be great. The following week, I think we're going to do a breakdown because we are all just feeling the tree love. We're going to just do a breakdown on trees and tree oils and all of the differences. Because now we have like, you know, like we have a lot of citrus. Now we have a lot of trees.
Yes.
We've got a beautiful forest of trees. So super excited to talk about, well, Douglas fir versus, you know, balsam fir, but also copaiba, frankincense, right? We've got a lot of great, the trees are, it's all about the trees. Team tree, right? That's us.
Team tree. Yeah. All the way.
Team tree.
Love it. All right. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Happy June.
Bye.